Today on All Out Brick, we're going to be kicking off the 2003 line of Bionicle with the Bohrok-Kal. We're going to build them, review them, and then give out a score. Let's get started. Hey everyone, I'm Christian from All Out Brick. Welcome to another Mata Nui Monday. As always, the best way to tag along with us every week is to subscribe and turn on notifications. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Bionicle Bohrok-Kal from 2003. The Bohrok-Kal came after the initial Bohrok swarms, and their goal was to reawaken the Bahrag Queens and then release the swarms of Bohrok once again. The Bohrok-Kal were 6 very specific elevated Bohrok. They had way more powerful elemental powers, and they also stole the Toa Nuva symbols, and this really stripped the Toa Nuva of their elemental powers and caused the whole main first part of the 2003 storyline. The Toa Nuva couldn't use their elemental powers, and the Bohrok-Kal were trying to awake the queens. Taking a look at the packaging, you're absolutely going to be reminded of the original Bohrok here. We have a nice action shot of each of the Bohrok-Kal, and then there's a render in the background for an environment for each of them, ages 7+, and on the top right we have an identifier for each of the Bohrok-Kal. On the back, I think it's pretty much exactly, if not exact, to the original Bohrok packaging. There's just a picture of it rolled up in a ball, its head swinging forwards, hanging in the back of the canister, and then the Krana attaching to a Toa's face. Nothing really new here. Inside we receive a bundle of pieces along with the instructions and some advertisement material. Some of the Bohrok-Kal came in editions that come with a mini CD-ROM. Inside of that are just some information of the Bohrok-Kal and small little animations. So far, it looks like we're just getting reproductions of the original Bohrok, which I hope isn't really the exact case. I guess the combination models really determine that. But what we're going to do now is start off with the base model builds. I'm going to go ahead and build all 6 of these Bohrok-Kal, and then we'll check back in afterwards for the review. So in total, the base models took me 18 minutes to build, which is 3 minutes each. I want to start off by saying that they are exactly the Bohrok base models, to a T. The only difference being the axle colors are different. There's some gray axles instead of black ones, and the silver accents are different, and the arms are slightly different. The color combinations are a little bit different. But I didn't even have to look at the instructions. I straight up dumped out the pieces, built all 6, didn't have to look at the instructions. I looked at them once. I looked at one page once to see where a certain black axle went. Once I got verification on that, they just zoomed through all 6 of these builds. So I really can't say much different than I did about the original Bohrok. I think that in this case, though, the color combinations are not as good. The arms are the same color as the bodies and the legs, and it just looks off to me. Something about it doesn't look. It looks a little bit off to me, and I just can't get past that look of meh. I don't think they look as cool as the Bohrok. I feel like they went for it with the silver accents because it was so successful, especially in the 2002 Titan models. The silver accents looked fantastic, and this, no, it really missed the mark here. They still have the same cool play functions. You can push the lever on their backs to make their head jolt forwards, and you can also roll them up into a ball, and you can even have them hanging in their canisters if you peel the back stickers off your canisters. I don't peel the back stickers off my canisters, so that's just not going to happen. But if you wanted to, you could do that. The only differences between these and the original Bohrok are, of course, the color combinations, but also their hand pieces have different shapes, and they're all silver. I don't know how I feel about them all being silver. Something I liked about the original Bohrok was that we had them all as different colors. This kind of reminds me of the Toa Nuva. They all had silver weapons. Granted, the Toa Nuva silver weapons I felt made sense because they fell in the protodermis, got upgraded weapons. These guys, I feel like they just went for the same thing and fell just a little bit short. I think the molds for each of them look really great. I think they have a very distinct look from one another. I just feel in terms of there's just so much silver and then only one other color per Bohrok, so it just, something about it doesn't look as nowhere near as good as the Bohrok, of course, but it just looks like it's lacking something in my eyes. Also included are some Krana-Kal. The Krana-Kal are just slightly different color ones. I don't think they're different mold variations. I really just think they're different colors, and this is really Lego saying hey, let's make kids get the Krana-Kal. So they did a cash grab here. I guess they can't really help it after how successful the Bohrok were. Wish they didn't do that, but the base models little bit of a letdown to me because we had the Bohrok already. They do have combination models called the Bohrok-Kal Kaita. These show up in the 2003 comics. Specifically, we have a Toa Nuva Kaita that takes on a Bohrok-Kal Kaita, and the Bohrok-Kal Kaita wipes it without even like breaking a sweat. Like I'm talking like in like less than a second, the Bohrok-Kal. So they're supposed to be pretty powerful. So let's go ahead, break all these base models down and build the Bohrok-Kal Kaita. Hopefully they're not the same as the Bohrok Kaita, because if they are, wow, it's going to be a serious problem. So let's go ahead, get right started with it. All right, so here's the Bohrok-Kal Kaita. It was about a 22-minute build, so longer than it took for all 6 of the Bohrok. However, keep in mind that for this time I had to actually follow the instructions. For the base models of the Bohrok-Kal, I finished it with 18 minutes without following any instructions, so it was a lot quicker just to go from 1 to 1. This was a little bit longer because of those instructions. So what we got here, really impressed. I said before this started that I was hoping that these combination models weren't going to be a rehash of the ones from the original Bohrok models, otherwise it would be a very big hit to this set's credibility. And of course, not the same. Very different models and very unique from one another. It's completely different. Remember the Bohrok Kaita, those were much taller. They kind of resembled the Toa Mata Kaita. This, no, it's very different. Something that I didn't expect at all, something I couldn't even like imagine. Like I really thought we were gonna get like the standard Kaita, like the big legs and everything. Didn't get that. We have one that's super bulky, like really armored up and looks like he's pretty tough. And this other one has some pretty skinny legs. He loves to do arm day because, you know, he's got some massive arms and some very skinny legs. And there's a lot of functionality going on with the one right here. This one, not so much. I'm gonna go through the functions on them real quick. The one right here, he can perform really a lot. Both of his arms work like the Bohrok-Kal heads do, in that you can push the lever to really like strike them forwards, and you can also do this to the head. So there's 3 forms of playability here just in this model alone. There's a lot going on, and it actually makes me glad that the legs aren't that big, because a lot of the times when we get these bigger legs, they're not as stable and we run into some problems. This is really focused on the playability features. I've been a huge fan of this one. The one right here, nowhere near as much. I'm not sure if maybe like I built it wrong or the instructions displayed something wrong. There were a couple cases where the instructions had errors, so maybe there's something wrong here, but there's really only one way to use the feature in this one, and it's when you push the lever, you have to have it cocked back. The rubber bands don't like allow it, so with the Bohrok-Kal base models, they would like fling back and forth when you press the lever on the back of their head. This one, the way it works is you only can use it like once. Like it's like almost like a superpower. Like you can use it once and then that's it. So you press the lever and it launches forward this huge, like monstrous physical attack, and then that's it. You have to like set it back up. I'm fine with it being just like a one-shot thing, because it's pretty freaking powerful. I mean, he launches in with a lot of force, a ton of new building techniques, things I didn't expect. Really a big surprise, and a really pleasant one at that, because I was really afraid that these were gonna be just repeats and that this set would be getting probably the lowest score ever, but no, these redeemed it a lot. I almost feel like after I built these that the set was worth it just for the combination models. Obviously there's a little bit more to it than that, but I genuinely feel like if you could buy the parts just for the combination models, why not? Because they're great. Put them alongside the Bohrok and you got some pretty big swarms that come at the Toa. Overall, I think you guys know my opinion by now. Like the base models, what was the point? I mean, I understand the story with the Bohrok-Kal is very good. Like the whole like lore and all of the plots that they're through, that's great with the Bohrok-Kal. The sets though, it's just like, do you really want to pay money for more Bohrok after you just bought 6 identical Bohrok? Now they want you to buy 6 more Bohrok-Kal. If there were Bohrok-Kal Va, I'm just glad they did it. So I'm kind of at like a lost spot with this set, because normally the combination models don't take the priority. However, in this case, it's like, I think the combination models are what these sets are really about, in my opinion. In terms of price, what you're going to see here is that they're about $10 each for a used version of the Bohrok-Kal, and it kind of depends on which one you're getting for brand new sealed, but on average it's $50 for a brand new Bohrok-Kal. What I would tell you to do is don't go new. There's just no reason to. Like, if you're going to build it, just go used. Same scenario as the Bohrok. There's really no parts here that could get damaged in my eyes, and the rubber bands are really great. So there's no reason to go new unless you're just bulking up a brand new sealed collection. So yeah, you could get 5 for the price of 1 if you just go used. I would definitely stick to that. As for a score, I really struggled to kind of nail down where I stood on this, because the base models were such a, not a disappointment because I knew what we were getting. It was just like a, you know, why do you have to release these? And again, the lore with the Bohrok-Kal is fantastic. So it's like, yeah, you do have to make a set for it, but it's just like it's so unnecessary. That's kind of, I guess, like, to get the sets is a little unnecessary, but the combination models really lifted it up and redeemed what the base models had done with, like, their just complete repetition of the original Bohrok. So I'm going to go 7-0. I think that's a fair score for the Bohrok-Kal. Again, if you're not into getting more Bohrok-Kal, hey, why not just like bricklink the pieces you need for the Bohrok-Kal Kaita, call it a day, save some money, and then you get some new additions to your Bohrok swarms without getting like something that's exactly the same as what you have with the original Bohrok. If you're going to choose between one or the other, I think what I would tell you to do is pick which one you like best. I think they're very similar in cost, so just pick the ones that you like best, get all 6 of those, or even better, you can go like 3 of one, 3 of another, or if you just want to create like a big swarm, you could get like, say for Bohrok-Kal, you get like 5 Bohroks, and then you get 1 Bohrok-Kal. Nice little balance there, a little mini swarm. Is probably how I would go at it, unless you're, again, just trying to get all the sets, then obviously get them all, and the Bohrok. But it's really just up to your preference in my eyes for which one I would take over the other, comparison Bohrok-Kal to the originals. So 7-0, that's a review. Thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, be sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel to be the first to see all of our future content. Also be sure to check us out on our website and on our Facebook and Instagram pages. Until next time, stay bricking.